reply back on as an employee?
Well, I don't know which clock is right.
I can't think of
That
anything.
was
I can't think of
Yeah,
anything that's more
yeah,
important
yeah.
than if they find
Yeah, I'm
something,
gonna-
you could reply right back on it when you're.
The internet's not always right, but you know, it's gonna. All right,
Working on
we
everything
will
else.
call Courts and Public Safety Committee to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
And Mr. Walker?
Here.
With that, we'll entertain a motion to approve minutes from March 12th, 2026.
I'll make that motion. Hardy.
Support Walker.
All right, we'll go with support from Mr. Walker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same? Thank you. Any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Support. Mr. Erickson, Mr. McCormick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same? Public comment. Public comment for Courts and Public Safety. All right, hearing none. Under Sheriff Schiller, you got a couple of items for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Ryan.
I think there's, what do you have on the agenda first?
ORV grant.
ORV's
ORV,
first, yeah.
okay. In your packets, I provided a bunch of information on an opportunity that the DNR provided to us kind of late in the game this spring after the DNR ORV grant had been submitted. They reached out and said that there was some additional funding opportunity. So knowing the area that we're in and Silver Lake being as busy as it is, there was some equipment funding that they made available. So we applied for it. I amended the grant application, and they ended up awarding it to us in full, which is great because generally speaking, those are 50-50 matching grants. So we went out and got a couple of quotes to send in with that application, and so they've already signed off on it and it's been approved. So I'm just I'm coming today asking to accept the grant and then for the expenditure of the side-by-side Polaris Ranger. With that, and I'm not sure I made it clear in the request, we would like to sell the 2020 club car that we have. It's still in good condition.
2005.
Or is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your other Rangers.
Sorry. 2005. We would like to sell that, and I feel like it's always good to be mindful of the engines that we have in house and what we're maintaining and so on and so forth, and it'd probably wisest to get rid of that piece if we're going to get something else in its place. So I take any questions if anybody has any.
Yep. Mr. Walker?
What dealer did you choose?
I think Babbitt's was the cheapest. We went to the place up in Peacock as well, and Babbitt's was able to provide a trailer to go with it. That still puts us underneath the allotted $48,280 amount. So we just kind of look around.
I don't think it makes any sense at all not to approve this.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
I
this is-
concur.
Almost $50,000 worth of equipment on a state grant with no co-pay.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Ryan, I talked to, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but I talked to somebody that went to the ORV trail riders for law enforcement people in Lake County,
Yeah. Yep.
and they said it was really a good program.
Yeah, that program has grown over the last few years since the legislature made or created an opportunity much like the Marine officer positions that we have. So they're not certified, but they created a ORV officer. So much like a Marine officer can go and enforce certain ORV or Marine acts,
300.
Yep.
303.
An ORV officer can do the same. So that's the closest comparison to what I can come up with. But that because of that program has grown quite a bit over the last couple of years, and they had a lot of guys in that course.
Yeah,
I think they had like 50
said
guys.
the interaction, they said, with other departments was
Yeah.
great, what the person told me.
I heard the same thing. I had good reviews. So,
You know,
yeah.
If it comes up, if you've even got a seasoned officer, I think it.
Yeah,
When
it was a week-long class. Those are great. Every time you send somebody away for a week, but yeah, it's good. I mean, they can drive from here. That's the nice
Yeah.
thing. It's close enough. So, but
Good.
any other questions on this? I know it was. I do recognize that that I'm supposed to come to you prior to applying for a grant like that, but because of how it unfolded, I'm coming to you late in the game, I guess.
Well, seems like a great idea. You know,
Yeah, I think so.
budget neutral acquisitions are
Right.
a pretty great program. So,
Yes.
The selling of the club car sealed bid, I imagine, or how do you see that?
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a standard policy for how that stuff's sold, or
I've looked at the county policy in the past on it. There's not. We've done it both ways. Sealed bids is sometimes easier depending on what it is. So I'm happy to entertain any guidance.
May I, Tim?
yeah.
What I've seen several municipalities do when they have stuff now, they take it to Ranger bid, because the buyer pays the fees. Whatever they bid is what you get back, and the buyer pays the commissions on top of it.
Okay.
Ranger bid, it used to be Meadema, is it, was
Part
that-
of the Meadema family.
Yeah, it's Ranger bid, and, yeah, I can
I'll
tell
look into
you,
it.
I can tell you, Ryan, that, the DPW in Montague buys a pickup, they replace them every 3 years, their pickup.
Yep.
And they've got them and they buy them under state contract, they sell them at Ranger bid, and they get more for their pickups than they paid for them.
Yeah, that's really how that's how it
You
works.
know, so,
Yeah.
and that's what they go to
Okay.
with Ranger.
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
And Scott could tell you how that works.
Okay. Yeah.
Might there be a fire department or another entity in the county that could use it? I know out in Walkerville, we've gone,
Yeah, possibly. I won't say no. It's most of the fire departments are kind of want the Rangers or the larger side by sides, if you will. This truly, if I'm being completely honest, is a golf cart
Yep.
with a box.
Yeah.
I use
Yep.
it, and it's extremely slow, it doesn't have a lot of suspension, but it works.
Yeah.
It works good for that. But the fire departments all have much more modern
Yeah.
stuff already.
Yeah.
perhaps
But-
the airport,
What's that?
perhaps the airport. They're
Yeah.
very expensive golf carts. I know-
Absolutely.
I know
Yes,
what you're talking
for sure.
about.
For sure.
And- Yeah, possibility. Yeah, fairgrounds could use it if you want to give it to the fair.
We better be careful here. We better be careful.
Well, that's a nonprofit.
Yeah, but we better be careful.
Yeah.
Great, good deal.
The second item on the agenda is a letter of understanding from the POAM. Ladies and gentlemen, this just in truth and transparency, this got missed in the contract negotiations by both sides apparently. This was in the previous contract. There's nothing different about this LOU than was in the former contract. It just wasn't included, and the only change between the last contract and this one is the dates. Obviously the last one expired when that contract expired, and so this is just an update of that very same agreement. No change. Interestingly, this really still is a topic of conversation when we are looking at candidates from an employment perspective. It is a helpful tool to be able to potentially be more attractive as an employer or as an agency. So from an employment perspective, we would love to see this added back into the contract. It is a helpful tool to make Oceana County look a little bit better. It was just an omission during the process.
Tim, this also mirrors the policy we have for the rest of the county. If one of the elected people want to bring somebody in, it goes the same way. They can go to the personnel committee and the administrator, and they can, with the steps, they can move up in the steps. Pretty much a mirror of the same thing that everybody else has.
Seems like a slam dunk. I mean, this policy's been approved once already. It just got left out of the final tally to approve the contract, so. Seems like a no-brainer there too.
Okay, the last thing, if I can just toss out, it's not an agenda item, it's really more of an announcement than an agenda item and or request, but just pass these out. We finished we had an opportunity through this is an interesting opportunity, but our jail inmate phone system is a partner with a company called OCV, and this company does app development for sheriff's offices, police departments, fire departments, EMS agencies, municipalities, but they're heavy in the law enforcement side. And so long ago, Mr. Maloney and I had started talking about Code Red and how the challenges and difficulty surrounding it, and Mr. Maloney will talk a little bit more about the other side of this, the emergency management side, and the functionality of it. But long story short, they paid for this to be completed and done. So this is on their dime. We didn't have to exchange anything.
Not our dime, OCV's dime.
Yeah, OCV, the company's dime, because they're both together. And it just got finished up here recently. We were waiting to launch this publicly until we could come and announce it to the board. So it's got a lot of great features. It's a great way for us to be able to communicate with the public and get information out. It does a lot of great things, and it provides an opportunity for emergency management as well to reach out to a significant number of people at one time, in real time. It's just like any other app that you see out there. The nice thing with these apps is that you don't have to provide any personal information. You download the app. It doesn't require you to put your phone number in. It doesn't require you to put your home address in or anything like that. You either want it or you don't, and you can delete it if you know it. So it doesn't require all those messy steps that formerly Code Red required of us. So Mr. Maloney will talk a little bit more about the emergency management side of it, but it's a great opportunity, and we'll try it out and see how it goes. Go from there. Any questions?
Yep.
I see on here submit a tip. Does that then get emailed to you, or how does
it does. If you click that, you can it goes to a group email address that we have set up, and it goes to detectives, and people can share
nice
information and things like that. So
yeah,
super. We're optimistic to see the public engagement. From what we've seen from other counties in Michigan that have it, it should be well received. So
Cool.
Nice.
Very good.
Great.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get back to my agenda here.
Department heads.
Yeah, department head reports.
Here you go, or do we go?
Oh, you can warm up.
Jeez.
My ask is big.
You want
I
us to
don't
throw
ask
all the
him
rotten
anything, so
tomatoes
you're
at
good.
him first, so we're out of ammo for you?
I don't have any ass, so you're safe. Just to continue with what the undersheriff was saying, so we were using Code Red. It got hacked and corrupted and got canceled out for the entire state. Everybody in the nation was using it, as we talked about before. That was a $12,000 a year software program that did our iPause and our public alerting. And it required people to enter into that app, and they had to put in their personal information. When you say, hey, I'm here from the government and I want you to sign up for this, they're like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So we struggled getting people to sign up. As he said, this doesn't require any personal information. What happened was now we pay for that out of a Homeland Security grant. Is what we've been paying for it, that $12,000 a year. This is a app within the app that does our mass public notice, and also is iPOS certified with FEMA and Homeland Security. So that got added into it at no cost to us, and we actually did use the actual iPause alert for pre-evacuations during the Sperry Dam flooding issue. It worked fantastic. I can use it on my phone. It's much more user-friendly than an iPause does. And iPause has been bought out by another company called Everbridge, and the state is reactivating it, so we will now use that as a backup. So before, our backup for Code Red for us was Code Red with the state. Well, when it went down for everybody, so we had no backup. So this really worked out fantastic. It's a really simple, easy to use app. We tested it, it went out, it worked great, no problem there. Those pre-evacuation notices got sent out, and it just worked out really well. So it's not costing us anything, and that frees us up some money to Homeland Security for other projects for emergency services in the county that the local emergency planning team approves where those funds are going to. Most of it's going towards barricades and rescue task force kits. So yeah, so we're happy to have the app, and we got to test it already, and it worked great. So
Tim,
and it was cheap.
what's Central Dispatch gonna do?
Central Dispatch is already set up on it, and they're already trained on it, and they can send it out if I ask. Sergeant Phillips can send them out. Liz, our deputy EM, can send them out. Ryan can send them out, and myself, and the dispatch is all set up. So everything's already been done. It's already ready to go. And so if we're not available, we can call dispatch or any one of those individuals, and they can send out those notifications. The mass notification part is easy because that's our system that we operate in. The iPause requires you to be certified to do that, but we have everybody that needs to be certified to take care of that, so we're good. It's already taken care of.
So if we were hooked up before, we don't need to do anything, or?
Nope, we're all done. It's all up and operational. At no cost to us. That was just an add-on to the app that OVC covered for us, and even then it was only what, $500 a year. It was fairly inexpensive compared to $12,000 a year we were spending on Code Red.
Right.
It doesn't have as many fancy features as Code Red did, but we didn't usually use all those fancy features. And really the big part is, as the Undersheriff said, is getting people to sign up for it. The iPod stuff we push through your phones whether you want it or not, so that doesn't change. It's the local information that we want to be able to share. And what Code Red didn't do was it didn't allow us to push information through multiple media platforms with one message. You had to go into each platform and send them. This allows us to have one message and send it out through multiple media platforms. So we think it's a pretty good investment, and it was affordable, and it works well. So we've already tested it. So they did a great job at training all of us on it. So they've been a really good company to work with. So happy with that. Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. So speaking of the Sperry Dam flooding, FEMA was in town yesterday. I spent a wonderful day in the rain and snow, going to all of our damaged sites that we had. We had 20 sites that were surveyed. We already did the preliminary survey with our CERT team and myself, and we did all those preliminaries. We sent them in the state and attached them to the state's declaration that was getting ready to be submitted for presidential. So FEMA was in town yesterday. They were going to all 46 counties involved in this state declaration. We were the second county they came to. We spent all day wandering around and doing they come in and basically confirm that our information is accurate. And that went very well. So we had a person from South Carolina representing the Small Business Administration, a FEMA representative from Chicago, and a FEMA representative from Indianapolis that were, and a lieutenant from the Michigan State Police Homeland Security Division, Josh Collins. He came in, and we literally had drove FEMA around every one of these sites, viewed them. Everything went really well. Public was very receptive. If that presidential declaration does go through for the state, It will allow possibly for some personal assistance, individual assistance they call it, to the homeowners that had those damages. Most of it will probably be in the form of an SBA loan if needed. We were fortunate we only had one major damage, the rest were kind of minor damages. That major damage flooded about 6 foot in a basement, took out a furnace, a water heater, a water softener system, and electrical. So that was probably the one that was most damaged from that. So if that goes through, it also allows for public assistance. That means that we can file for reimbursement to the sheriff's office for their time. We can do we can file for the fire department. Hesperia Fire had a $20,000 bill for all the time and effort they spent out there, which is almost a third of their personnel cost budget for the year. So if we can get them reimbursed, great. And it also reimburses the village of Hesperia for the time and equipment that they had to have to help mitigate that problem. So hopefully that all goes through in the presidential. We have to meet a certain threshold. I don't know how many millions of dollars that is in order to meet that declaration, but that we are part of 46 counties, so we're pretty confident with the damage in Newaygo County and Lake. If you go up into Muskegon, isn't nearly as bad as Cadillac. Their flooding they're still flooded. They can't even get into places to do damage assessment because their water levels at the lake are so high. So
Osceola?
no, that's
Wexford
County, yep.
Yeah.
But because we're all in that state, because we did a good job of you guys getting that signed, and thank you, Mr. Walker, for doing that, and Tracy for getting that expedited. We jumped on early, and so we're including the state declaration, and if it goes through, we'll be included in the presidential declaration, so I'll keep you posted on that. Other than that, I have one other announcement, unless you have any questions on that. And Gary will probably, I'm going to maybe steal some of his thunder, but the limited access Dune Community Forum that we do every year through Dispatch is the one that coordinates that, and it's where all these people who live on these Dune communities with one way in, one way out, with roads that aren't really accessible and addressing that's horrible. This is an opportunity that everybody comes to this meeting. It's well attended, and we rotate it between Oceana and Mason County every other year. This year we'll be in Mason County at the Summit Township Hall on June 11th at 10 a.m. And that's where people come in. We talk to them about we pull up the CAD system from Dispatch, and people can locate their house. And because people loving these private drives, they think that it's still 1950, and everybody responds to you by the name on the sign on the tree. And we're trying to educate them that no, we operate off of a very high-tech computer-aided dispatching system that needs addressing. And they get a chance to come in there, and they literally will pinpoint themselves on maps, say, no, this is my place, is this accurate? And it gives everybody a chance to do that. And then they bring in other speakers that talk about some ecology, and the fire department talk about emergency response, and everybody's in the sheriff's department, everybody's involved. It's a really good program. Were you going to talk about it?
I was, but you
keep going.
You did a good job.
You can fill in the gaps. But other than that, that's what we have going on. So.
Anything from
Thank
Mr.
you.
Maloney? Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Well, I come with hat in hand as well as the undersheriff. Back in March, we had the opportunity to apply for a grant for the Oceana Community Foundation, which we did. I did not come to you and ask for your permission. We filed it. We asked for $3,000 for tools for our new maintenance man. Lo and behold, we got $4,000 from the Community Foundation. So recently we went to Larson's, and we went to Rothberry Hardware, and we found that Steel has Steel Chainsaw Company has a 20% discount for municipalities, which we filed for. So we are in the process of getting an order together with Rothberry, which will come out to be about $2,000. So a backpack blower, a gas chainsaw, an electric chainsaw battery, weed whacker, gas, a small handheld battery operated chainsaw. So we think we have all the tools that we need to go out and tackle our 8 county parks. Kevin Moore, who is our employee that we hired this last spring, started May the 4th. I went with him before he started with us, and we surveyed 6 of the parks, of the 8 parks, and he had a pretty good idea of what he was getting into. I said, are you ready to not do this? And he said, oh no, I'm in. So He's been working in parks. I've been with him about 4 hours, a couple of days a week, out doing things, and he's great. Couldn't find a better, in my opinion, a better employee. He's fixed stuff, and he's got the Black Lake situation under control, and he's working on all sorts of other projects, from trimming and meeting people. He's very outgoing. So we got a diamond in the rough there. He had a contractor's license for, I think, 30 years roughly, and when he retired 3 years ago, he gave that up. But he can fix just about anything, and he's willing to pretty much tackle anything. So between him and Kurt out at the airport, that's like, I'm kind of worried when I go out there what's going to look like the next time when we go to our little barn. So a couple of things on parks that are going on. Black Lake, we have 7 full-time guests out there all summer. I think we filed recently $9,250 for income for rent for the season already. A lot of reservations. We looked into a reservation system, but with only 14 sites, we found that it's not cost effective to have 14 sites with $500. I think it was $600 for the whole season. And we're trying to find a way a small park like that or campground like that fits into a bigger system is difficult. But I do have the Brain Trust working on that. Eric Bingston and Jeff Hiddema, both parks people currently in other places, are really aware of that, and they keep looking. We've had some beaver activity out at Black Lake. It's caused the lake to come up about 2, maybe even 3 feet. And I made Michelle Martin, our drain commissioner, aware of that. I know they went out, the beaver trappers out, and took out 1. They've opened up the dam a little bit. The problem we have now is that we're getting additional flooding. It's not related really to the high amount of rain we had, but because the lake is clogged up with the dam, we basically are getting flooding in the area that we want to start working on our walkway, which goes through the south part of the property. So that's on hold right now, but we're in the position now to go out and start doing some fundamental engineering on that. And there's also a team that's involved in that, so that's working out well. Cedar Point is, Pete keeps coming up and scary. We got to do this, we got to do that. Pete, we're done. We're over. Let's go. So Dave Fox has done all the grading. We're in the process waiting for the last frost to happen so we can start to plant some native wild plants, native wild flowers, I should say. So we're really excited about what that's going to be, and hopefully we'll have kind of a grand reopening, maybe probably sometime in later June or even July once we get some green coming up. Stony Lake is coming along pretty well. They just did the treatment for the lake, and that was it's always an interesting time. Kevin Moore, when we took him down there, Joel Michelson and I took him down to the boat ramp and said, oh, this is our boat ramp, and he said, how does anybody ever get a boat in here, because it's very steep. But if you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you're not going in there. And we've looked at opportunities to do other things, but with the land we own there, it's almost impossible to change that. So that's going to probably stay like it is. Looking at possibly putting in another dock out at Black Lake, secondary dock for possibly pontoon boats. We have a lot of interest from campers that like to bring their boats out there. Fishing has been really good. There was one other one I wanted to tell you about. Doolittle. Doolittle has had a lot of use. We're getting families out now that are using the shelter for weekends. Conservation District continues to use it regularly for educational purposes. In March, we actually had, I think, 32 folks from various parts of the state for the vernal pool patrol. On the property, there's a vernal pool, so vernal is spring, and we have a lot of small polywogs and frogs that are hatching, and turtles and so on. So they were out and basically in muck up to their knees, I think, looking at different things with their nets. So overall, I think parks are going along really well. Hiring Kevin has been a really good investment, I think, on the part of the county. The opportunities that he presents and things that we're starting to see start to happen are really amazing. We put 2 benches now out at, actually 3. We had 2 benches that were donated, one from the Wines family that's on the dock, the new dock out at Marshville, at Stony Creek. And the other one came from a Pentwater gentleman, Dave Peterson. And Dave is involved with a group called Fly Fishers International. He lives up in Pentwater in the summer. He donated this bench in memory of a friend of his that's a trout fisherman. So, and I understand from some of my trout fisherman buddies that they had a good season, or had a good opener rather, out on the Stony Creek. Some 13 to 15 inch brown trout, and the steelhead were running when the fishermen were out there, so they were like a 4 pound line just doesn't really go well with the steelhead. That's just not going to happen. But overall, I think we're doing pretty well, and I thank you for your support over the last year. And I'll come back in probably in June with pictures. So if you guys like pictures, so we'll do that. So I apologize for not being here last month. I was kind of tied up with a medical issue, and everything's good. They said you're good for a few more years, so it's like,
Good.
kick me out of here.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Any other department heads?
No, I'll come back. We'll talk about planning.
Sorry for being late this
Morning,
morning.
George.
I don't know what I missed, but I did want to tell you about that truck that we spoke about. It had been for sale for all month of April. We had several bids on the truck, and we had a last minute bid, so the truck is sold and gone now. We were able to sell that truck for $28,200. So it was a nice windfall for the county. I deposited that with the treasurer's office earlier this week, and we'll be coming to you later, really with a request to turn those proceeds towards new handguns with optics. So just to soften you up about what's coming in reference to that money, we're trying to develop a funding mechanism for it, so we don't have to ask you guys specifically for the funding. But anyways, the truck was a nice opportunity for us. Okay.
Silver Lake boat's going to be dedicated.
It is
coming up soon.
Coming right up this next week. Yep. I believe it's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday at 1 o'clock out there at the boat launch. We encourage anybody with if you'd like to see it. We're going to have a new lift station put in Sunday, so we'll have a lift, the boat. Several of the donors, they've all been invited. We've got some press coming, so it should be a really nice time.
Tim?
Yep.
Sure. For those of us who have prior commitments, for one of our board meetings, could you have that here sometime so the board members could see it that can't make it out to Silver Lake,
So
if it's not in the water?
So I talked to the Marine Department about having it here today, and it's substantial to park along the roadway. So I'll give you a solid I don't know about that. We'll try to make it happen, but that is it is a real obstacle to bring it here and to park on the roadside. But I'll express the interest again that the board is asked to have it here, so I will try to make that a priority.
Thank you, Sheriff.
You bet. Anything else? Thank you.
Any other department heads? I think you've all spoke, so. All right, public comment. Any public comment for Courts and Public Safety?
We're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, all right. Hearing none, we will adjourn Courts and Public Safety.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Finance Administration Committee. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
And Mr. Walker?
Here.
I'd ask for approval of the meeting minutes from April 23rd, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support,
Motion
Walker.
by Beggs, supported by Walker. Any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Are there any changes to the agenda? Any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll ask for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Erickson.
Support.
Support by McCormick. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Is there any public comment at this time regarding Finance and Administration Committee? Hearing none, I'll move on. Administrator Biard, L4029 tax rate request.
So this, the L4029 form was not going to be presented until our next Board of Commissioners meeting. However, the treasurer had asked about getting that from our equalization director. He had that for us. However, he was not able to attend our meeting today because he is out of town. So I asked for him to get that prepared for us so we can get that approved today. I do believe he will be here at the next meeting to talk at more length about the equalization report that was presented at the last meeting and possibly this L4029. But he did say that this form was updated with the anticipated dates for the millage to be approved in August for the ambulance and 911, with a note in columns 9 and 10 if approved by the voters. Maximum allowed millage rates for the rest of the millages to be approved after the election in August and by September 30th for the winter tax billing. The only millage rate that you are approving today is the operating millage rate as reduced by the Headley millage reduction fraction.
Any questions? All right, Mr. Biard, County Services Building HVAC bids for 3 units.
So we put the remaining HVAC units for the County Services Building out for bid. You had 3 bids in your packet. Well, actually you had more like 6, I think, or 5. Because Elite gave several. Northside at $35,335, Tanner $38,187. They're asking for a $20,000 down payment for theirs, but that also includes the permit fees. And then Elite Air had Good, Better, and Best at $42,300, $49,300, and $57,200. And the permit fees were included in theirs as well.
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Hardy did a very nice breakdown on all of those, and I think that
I handed it out, but it kind of shows the total BTUs quoted plus the tonnage for the air conditioners. And I tried to do the best I could with the one bit, the last bid there, but you can see that, and this would be my recommendation, the Tanner bid, the units were a little larger size. Price was a hair more, but I think my recommendation is that that's probably the bid I would go with. But you can take a look at it and just kind of a quick comparison.
well, when we go from 100 to 120,000, or from 80,000 to 140,000,
yeah,
that's a big
step
difference. And,
yep.
And you know, if it was me personally, I would pay the extra money and go with Tanner.
Yeah, I mean they're bigger units and
Shop local.
yeah.
Well, it's only
But
$3 grand
it's probably the
difference.
better bid even if it wasn't local. I mean, just looking at it, the
Yeah.
breakdown on it. But anyway,
Steve did a good job.
hard to read some of it, but it.
Gotta know Steve.
All right. Any other questions? Ms. Biard, Administrator's review of selected claims for payment and Administrator's report.
The claims have been provided for you.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to discuss on that list.
Apparently not.
And the administrator's report is in your packet. I've been trying to keep follow-up items in there so that you can kind of see where we are with different projects, because those kind of get lost in the shuffle sometimes, and just to keep you updated on those. I wanted to let you know that I will be at my administrators conference Wednesday through Friday next week. And then we are closed on Monday for Memorial Day. That's all I have.
I had one quick question. I tried to use this a little while ago, the GIS mapping system, but I couldn't get it to do anything. That's still online, right?
Yeah, it is still online.
Okay.
And Spicer Group is working on getting those maps updated and the layering, and eventually, we're supposed to be taking that over on June 1st, completely over. So, and the other thing that's going to be really nice about that is when equalization gets any changes on any of their properties, they're going to be able to go directly into there and make those changes right away. And Spicer Group's working with equalization on making those updates, showing them how to work that. So.
All right, moving on. Any department head reports? Gary?
Talk a little bit about our programs with Planning Commission. We recently had a really good educational program with Mary Riley from MSU Extension. She talked to about an hour and a half, 2-hour group regarding conflict and how to deal with conflict. It was fairly well attended. We had 27 folks that were there. And this is our 5th educational program that we've presented for the public and primarily for appointed and elected officials in the county. One of the things about, of course, Planning Commission is our part of how we fit into this wheel is that we're the educational part to the townships. So at our last meeting, I invited the head of the MTA, Dave, who is the, what's Dave's last name? I'm blanking totally. Out in Paul out there in Colfax Township.
David Leonard?
David Leonard. David's the principal or the president of the MTA, and trying to find better ways to find synopsis or back and forth between the county and our townships. So we're all going to eventually start going to MTA meetings. He invited us to do that with the Planning Commission. So trying to find functionality, trying to find a way to work together. Fairly small county with 26,000 people. It's got to be a good way to find a way we get there, however that is. So I'm stumbling a little bit, but we need to find a trailer for county parks, not to change the subject too much, but if you know of any used trailers, we're looking for either an open trailer, possibly a closed trailer, but we need to haul some equipment around. Next year, we'd like to take over mowing of our parks away from the road commission. So that's kind of on the list. So if you know of anything, let us know. And that's about it today.
Great. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Any other department head reports?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to mention, she mentioned it earlier, that I have gotten the Golden Township contract, just came back Tuesday night, and obviously it just wasn't in time to add to today's agenda. So I'll be getting you that in for the next board meeting packet. It sounded like it was received well at Golden on Tuesday night. The sheriff was at that meeting. I was speaking somewhere else, but it sounded like that conversation was very positive, and there were really no stipulations or any disagreements between either of us regarding the details of the contract. So that'll be coming to you in your next board packet. And then I just also wanted to follow up. I know I talked about it last time, but I have had continued conversations regarding the Rural Health Transformation Grant Program, and we haven't, of course, applied for that yet. I engaged with Trinity Health, a number of them here recently again, and they still seem very positive about it and believe that this is a very appealing project for that grant opportunity. And of course, the objective with that whole conversation is to try and offset some of the inmate healthcare costs that we have annually for the jail, and I recognize that this is a short-term Band-Aid, and I'll just be honest, that's what I'm calling it, because it is a long-term problem, but in the meantime, it's still a significant number, and so I'm just trying to explore ways that we can kind of offset some of those costs for a little bit of time until we can come up with a long-term funding solution. So that conversation is still moving forward. So thank you. Yep.
I have a question. Can I throw a grenade in the middle of the room? Is there a reason we couldn't add that contract to our agenda for our main meeting to discuss it and possibly approve it? It's not on the agenda, but could it be added? I mean, summer season's upon us. I don't know, you know, what kind of urgency for your department to have things in place or anything like that, but.
We've all had the opportunity to read it.
Yeah.
And if there's no substantial changes, I don't have a problem with me personally voting in favor of that contract.
I don't either. I mean, we've kind of.
It's the same contract that, our county council created for the other,
Yeah.
other townships.
I guess that was what I was gonna point out, that's I guess the most important piece to this for us is that Mr. Nordford did develop, he wrote this contract. This is the same contract that our council wrote for us to utilize for Grant and
Well, this is
Village of
kinda
Hesperia and Village of Walkerville.
Time sensitive as well. I mean, with the holiday coming up and everything,
We can add it to the regular meeting agenda.
yeah.
I'd be happy to bring that. The only, I do want to just point out that there have been very minor edits, mostly clerical in nature or grammatical in nature, to the contract that I submitted to you. Did I submit that to you? No. You haven't.
Well, we had to.
Yeah. I'm happy to submit it, or happy to bring copies of it. It really is just looking for the board chair's signature.
We got 40 minutes for our next meeting. Yeah.
I'd be happy to go get copies of it.
That'd be great. Yeah, let's take a look at it. All right, thank you.
Is it possible to highlight the changes in it real easy? Or would that be difficult? If you're gonna bring it back to us?
Absolutely, I can print a color copy. It prints in red.
Well, you know,
Sure.
Yeah.
if you just, you know,
Be a quick-
we've read the original. If the changes are just, you know, if it's possible to do that, it'd be pretty
Okay.
easy for us to take
That
care
gives
of.
us an
Just
opportunity
wanna
to
go
check
start
it.
working on that, so.
All right. Any public comment at this time for finance and administration?
So, Mr. Walker, hence your previous request, because after the ceremony, the launching of the boat, it's going to have a tower and an antenna on it that has to be taken up and to be taken down to move it. But all the Marine people are here right now. Mike is here with his 2 helpers, and they're going to get the boat right now. We're coning off a place out here along Lincoln Street. So when you guys leave here today, or maybe between meetings, the boat should be here yet today to show it off. After the meeting just wasn't going to work for us in a week or 2, so we're gonna try to get it here for you today, so you guys can all do a walkthrough, a show and tell. Mike is here, so he can show it off. He's probably
Great.
best versed with the boat. The manufacturer's representative is coming here as well, so their Oceancraft Marine has been very gracious to work with. They had our guys, when they came out and picked it up, they took them out for sea trials. Well, now they're coming back on their own time, I'm sure we paid for it, but they're coming here for training purposes. So we're gonna have it in the water on the lift station, and the manufacturers are gonna train our people on our new boat. So it should be really a great opportunity, but so the boat should be here yet today. So
You are the best, aren't you?
Great.
Well,
Thank you.
when I asked him 2 weeks from now, that just wasn't an option, but today's an option, so.
Thank
hopefully
you, Sheriff.
I very well might not be here. I've got scent board I need to go to, so after this, so between Under Sheriff and Sergeant Phillips, I'm sure you guys can have a grand look at the new boat.
Can you move the new boat with the ORV you're getting? No, never mind.
No, we can't. No.
Different class.
Thank you,
different
Sheriff.
classes.
I think one of the
Different
issues, and I don't know if
classification.
everybody knows, that thing's only 6 inches under, I think, under clearance for bridges.
Yeah.
It's really
13
high, and
foot
that's with
tall.
that's with the anchor light off and the antenna's down. It barely,
It's substantial.
because I know when they brought it back from the East Coast, they were really watching a lot of the overpasses that they went under, because you're literally,
And
have
the
that much
construction zones,
clearance,
too,
so.
because it's so wide. Mike was saying he's having to get an annual wide load permit, so we can, when we need to move it, if we need to move the boat to Pentwater or some other venue, if we're gonna need to trailer it, we will have a wide load permit on hand already. If anybody were ever to question why we're moving it over with boat, well, we're gonna have a permit in place.
So it is movable if we just take some effort
It
to.
is, yeah. If
Well, you can
we
move
need
it
to move
anywhere, but it might
Pentwater-
take a lot of lines down.
Yeah, right. We got an emergency, we don't care about that.
But-
Send your commercial vehicle officers to Colfax Township when you're moving it to Pentwater.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Sheriff.
think we got some overlap there between marine and
We do have
commercial.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Any other public comment for Finance and Administration Committee? If not, we will adjourn, and the regular meeting will start at 11:30.